I'm so happy to see a full room this morning in the sunny city of Sochi. As I said, every time I stand on this stage, I'm presenting a new product. Today is no exception, because today is a big deal, a very important day for Kaspersky Lab, for our customers, for our partners, because today we'll be showing the most anticipated product we've been waiting on for a long time. The day has come. Today we'll be talking about and showing a very interesting product, and most importantly, the scenarios our solutions are ready to cover today and help you fight the most sophisticated threats. But before I tell you about the architecture and scenarios, about the technical characteristics of our new solution, I want to talk a little about our history. How did Kaspersky get to the point where we start making our own next generation firewall? If we look at it from the network part, we've been there for a long time. We make products like Kata, NTA solutions, our gateways. We've been working with networks for a long time, but we've never had our own solution specifically for firewall classes. So in 2020, we took our first little step, well, I guess a big step for our company. We started our network history with SD-WAN. We acquired a really cool company, Brain4Net, and on its basis made our leading SD-WAN solution, which is already implemented today with several large clients who are sitting in this room today. Thank you very much for this. We've had a very interesting journey. Most importantly, over this time, we've acquired invaluable experience in the implementation of complex network solutions. Because many of you know that when you start implementing a network solution, including a firewall, not just cybersecurity services are involved, but telecom and IT services too. This is the experience we gained as part of the implementation of our SD-WAN solution. We put it in our firewall. This is important because with this rich history and experience in implementing network solutions, we created a truly leading product. But first, I want to tell you about that team that makes this decision. If we count, we'll see that it's engineers, developers, architects, testers, and security engineers involved in the development of our solution. And today it's about 100 of the best experts making decisions. Why 100? Yeah, it's a big number. We're looking at experts who use their expertise to identify threats, and for us this includes 5 Kaspersky expertise centers. This is our famous great hunting for the most sophisticated targeted attacks, even on iPhones. Our industrial safety experts, who after me will present about what they discovered this year and last year. Our security and artificial intelligence experts, and our experts who create the best antivirus engines. If we count all these numbers, we'll come closer to 200 specialists involved in the development of Kaspersky's firewall. I'll say this, we pay special attention to secure development and regulatory requirements to make the safest firewall. You might ask why I've said so much about secure development. I have a very interesting but scary slide for you. This slide was made by our team who investigate incidents every day. This morning, when we were having coffee, had breakfast, they messaged us on Telegram multiple times, called us. They're already out somewhere investigating another incident. So we collected statistics on the vulnerabilities used to penetrate the infrastructure of organizations in Russia. Here we can see multiple vulnerabilities in Microsoft Windows, OpenSSH, and so on. But pay attention to the highlighted group. These are vulnerabilities in firewalls from a certain manufacturer. So if you use a firewall, you must understand that it's also a target for attack, like all other systems. The practices and principles of secure development are absolutely necessary for you to be able to trust the solutions you put in your infrastructure. Because if it's an external perimeter firewall, it sticks out and becomes the first point an attacker will focus on. We see this in incidents in Russia. Unfortunately, not all firewall manufacturers take responsibility for such crucial principles of secure development. That's why I'm emphasizing this. But Kaspersky is a leader in this field. And the top experts worked on this solution to make it as safe as possible so you could trust it to handle your network traffic. But one of the main points we think is that it's not just expertise, not just better architecture to enable the detection of sophisticated threats. One of the most important points, and probably our most important priority, is the connectivity of our ecosystem. Today's scenario will show is that you can't just use a firewall to detect current threats, including targeted attacks that are happening today. So with the release of our product, it's not separate from our ecosystem. Today at the stand, you'll see its integration in our XDR platform. And the scenario our expert will show involves extensive integration. You'll see how in 10 minutes you can detect and respond to threats which are very relevant today. I'll leave myself a little time and tell you about it at the end. This is very important because with these incidents, every minute counts. You have a large number of incidents, and the data sources that enrich your platform need to quickly provide all the information, and the platform needs to respond as soon as possible. So we made this platform, and today we'll show it to you. But now let's move on to architecture, what allows us to make these decisions. As I already said, we have our own dedicated development and all major network components, and the detections are made inside Kaspersky Lab. We don't use ready-made open source and rework it. We did it all ourselves. First of all, because we understand that this gives us more flexibility in the development of our products. The second is stronger technological independence. We can develop our own components and not depend on open components like some other manufacturers do. But let's get to the numbers. As of today, our solution is already ready to support more than 20,000 rules for the firewall. We have a component to work with encrypted traffic. Over 4,000 apps are already categorized thanks to our own DPI engine. Also, I'd like to point out separately that we have a separate team developing the logic of the DPI system. These are our experts developing and adding to application databases. If you have any questions about the pilot, we're ready to quickly add new applications that need to be recognized. Now there are more than 6,000 IDS IPS signatures supported in our solution. I also want to talk separately about the fact that we're the only manufacturer with its own high-performance antivirus engine already built into our firewall. This is the best solution on the market. We also did integration with our top cyber intelligence service. This can be configured by the customer. If you want, you can integrate with our cloud service in the enrichment of incidents. This allows for the fastest possible investigations to understand, for example, which group is behind the attack. It's also worth noting that there's a single management console that allows for the fully automatic management of our firewall and the rest of the Kaspersky Lab ecosystem. It also shows the picture more holistically of incidents that occur. More on that later. It also lets you change policy settings that are automatically distributed to all nodes and synchronize with our firewall. But the most important thing is, of course, our hardware manufacturer. The hardware is entirely Russian. We already tried a small number of solutions with implementation in our SD-WAN product. Accordingly, all the necessary certifications are available. This model has proven itself to be very reliable. We'll have 5 models in total. Right now, starting from lower performance and ending with high performance. As I already said, we have 8 years of expertise implementing complex network solutions. One of those figures that people are showing now when they try to show how cool their NGFW is. At the moment, at the ELS level, we've reached 20 gigabytes, but this isn't the limit. Next year, we'll have about 100 gigabytes. But as our scenario shows, in reality, how many gigabytes a firewall processes isn't always the most important thing. The most important thing is integration integration into the ecosystem and understanding how the firewall will react to upcoming threats. So today, we are introducing a really cool product. I hope you'll take a look at it at the stand. I'll be at the stand all day today showing scenarios. It's really very interesting. We'll publish it on public hosting sites after the conference, so you can check it out. That's today. A little later, together with our SD-WAN, we'll make a single platform for those customers who want to use it and build secure next-generation networks. They'll be able to buy one box with integrated SD-WAN and NGFW, but today we're at an industrial conference. So in the very near future, in our firewall, there will be new scenarios to protect industrial segments, because our ecosystem is about the fact that we protect both the IT segment and industrial segment. We'll show you these scenarios in the near future. Now, for the scenario which seems to me to be quite important, so that we all understand how the firewall complements the Kaspersky ecosystem, there's quite a complex scheme here. Our expert at the stand will tell you about it in detail. One interesting fact, I listened to the presentations here yesterday in the evening. The guys were getting ready. Two speakers spoke about the most pressing problem currently in attacks on Russian critical infrastructure and more in various enterprises. Of course, this is a supply chain attack, attacks through contractors. This is a simple scenario when you invest a lot in cybersecurity, but you still outsource to some company that integrates Bittrex for you or some other system but doesn't handle cybersecurity. And attackers target them easily or get leaked credentials on the dark web or get in through a vulnerable site where they steal your VPN config and connect to your infrastructure. And in literally 10 to 15 minutes, they can completely destroy it or steal anything they need. This diagram shows this scenario. When they hack an organization through a contractor, this is actually a real diagram of the incident. There are no company names here. And in our scenario, our ecosystem with our firewall, we'll show how in 10 minutes the first line of SOC can respond to this incident, block all network connections, close the VPN tunnel, and show which account in the domain was involved in the attack. I think this is a cool scenario, and it shows how quickly you can react to these complex incidents and what significant part the firewall will now have in the Kaspersky ecosystem. So everyone, please come check out the stand, look at the scenario, ask any questions. But the most important thing is that at the stand, you'll be able to sign up today to pilot our solution. Our experts will help you with integration, answer all questions, so that in the future, our firewall works in your infrastructure. Thanks a lot.